Ladies and gentlemen, let me paint you a picture. Imagine standing at a crossroads, heart heavy, mind clouded, and the weight of a decision pressing down on you. Someone you once trusted, loved, and gave your all to has crossed a line, one you never thought they'd cross. Now you're asking yourself, do I stay, do I forgive, or do I walk away? I'm here to tell you, not all second chances are created equal. Some acts, some behaviors are the red lines we draw to protect our dignity, our peace, and our future. Today, we're not just talking about relationships. We're talking about you, about the respect you deserve, the boundaries you set, and the courage it takes to say no more. Stay with me, because by the end of this conversation, you'll know the 5 things that should never, under any circumstances, be overlooked. And trust me, once you recognize these, you'll never look back. Ladies and gentlemen, let me paint you a picture. Imagine standing at a crossroads, heart heavy, mind clouded, and the weight of a decision pressing down on you. Someone you once trusted, loved, and gave your all to has crossed a line, one you never thought they'd cross. Now you're asking yourself, do I stay, do I forgive, or do I walk away? Every time that I'm in the presence of someone you once trusted, loved, and gave your all to, the words sometimes come unexpectedly out of my mouth. Ladies and gentlemen, let me prison you. But before you answer, let me ask you something else. How much of yourself are you willing to sacrifice to keep something that's already broken? See, love isn't supposed to feel like a battlefield where you're the only one fighting. It's not supposed to feel like a puzzle where you're the only piece trying to fit. And yet, many of us try. We convince ourselves that maybe if we just try a little harder, give a little more, things will change. But let me tell you something, a relationship that drains you, breaks you, or betrays you is not love. It's a lesson. The lesson that you're experiencing, or the pain you're experiencing, is today I want to open your eyes to something powerful. There are 5 things, 5 lines in the sand that if crossed should never, ever be ignored. Because these aren't just mistakes, they're choices. Choices that reflect someone's character, someone's values, and most importantly, their respect or lack of it for you. Stay with me, because by the end of this conversation, you'll have the tools to reclaim your power, protect your peace, and walk away from anything or anyone that doesn't deserve your heart. Let me ask you something. When you look in the mirror, do you truly see your worth? Not just the surface reflection, but the core of who you are. Your heart, your soul, your dreams, and everything you bring to the table. Far too often we let someone else determine that worth. We allow their words, their actions, and sometimes their neglect to define what we think we deserve. But here's the truth. No one, not even the person you love, gets to decide your value. Think about that. That's your job and yours alone. When you understand your self-worth, you set the standard for how others treat you. You stop settling for apologies without change, for love without respect, and for relationships that take more than they give. You see, knowing your worth is not about arrogance or pride. It's about self-respect. It's about saying, I am worthy of love, kindness, and loyalty, and refusing to accept anything less. But here's the challenge. Sometimes when you care deeply about someone, you start to make excuses for their behavior. You think, maybe I'm asking for too much, or maybe I need to be more patient. But let me tell you something. Compromising your self-worth to keep someone in your life is the fastest way to lose yourself. And that's a price no relationship is worth paying. Your worth is not up for debate, negotiation, or compromise. It's the foundation of everything you'll allow in your life, and if someone can't honor it, they don't deserve to stay. So as we dive deeper into this conversation, remember this. The most powerful thing you can do for yourself is to recognize your worth and never let anyone make you question it. Imagine a house built on a shaky foundation. No matter how beautiful the walls are, how intricate the design, or how much effort you've put into decorating it, if the ground beneath it isn't solid, it's only a matter of time before it crumbles. Relationships are no different. At the core of every strong, lasting connection lies one essential element: trust. Without it, everything else becomes unstable, no matter how much love or effort you pour into it. Trust isn't just about believing someone won't lie to you, it's deeper than that. It's about feeling safe, respected, and secure in their presence. It's knowing that they have your back even when times get tough, and that their actions align with their words. Trust means you don't have to second guess their intentions, wonder about their loyalty, or question their commitment. It's the glue that holds everything together, allowing you to build something meaningful and lasting. Incompatibility requires trust. It's really, really hard in this country. Allow me to tell you, it's not half as easy as committing to one party or following another. But here's the hard truth. Trust, once broken, is one of the hardest things to repair. It's not like a cracked plate you can glue back together. The scars of betrayal, dishonesty, or broken promises linger, creating doubts and insecurities that can poison even the purest intentions to rebuild. And the worst part? Rebuilding trust takes two people fully committed to the process. One willing to prove they've changed and the other strong enough to give them that chance. But even then, it's not always guaranteed. So ask yourself this: is your relationship built on a foundation of trust? Or are you constantly patching cracks, hoping the structure doesn't collapse? Because trust isn't just something you hope for, it's something you demand, protect, and walk away from when it's no longer there. Without trust, love has no legs to stand on, and without trust, no matter how much you care, the relationship will never truly feel like home. Respect is the heartbeat of every healthy relationship. It's not just about polite words or kind gestures. It's about the way you're valued, honored, and treated as an equal. Respect is what turns love into something sustainable. Without it, even the strongest emotions can become toxic, draining, and harmful. Respect shows up in the little things: listening when you speak, valuing your opinions, and treating your feelings as valid. It's in how they handle disagreements, not with shouting or insults, but with patience and understanding. Respect means recognizing your boundaries and never pushing you into situations that make you uncomfortable. It's the quiet, steady assurance that your voice matters, your needs matter, and you matter. But here's the thing: respect isn't optional. It's not something you can compromise on or hope will develop over time. If someone consistently dismisses your feelings, mocks your dreams, or treats you as less than, that's not love. It's control, it's arrogance, and it's disrespect. No amount of affection, gifts, or apologies can make up for the lack of basic respect. And let's not forget, respect goes both ways. It's about holding yourself to the same standard you expect from your partner. It means speaking kindly even when you're angry, and showing appreciation even in the small moments. When respect is mutual, it becomes the foundation for trust, love, and growth. But when it's absent, the relationship becomes a battlefield, leaving scars that don't heal easily. If you find yourself in a relationship where you constantly feel dismissed, undervalued, or disrespected, ask yourself, is this what I deserve? Because respect is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Without it, no relationship can thrive, no matter how much love is involved. Choose respect, not just for the relationship, but for yourself. There's a line that no one, no matter how much you care for them, should ever cross. That line is abuse, whether emotional, physical, or verbal. Abuse isn't just a sign of a broken relationship, it's a fundamental betrayal of trust, love, and safety. It strips away your sense of self-worth, isolates you from happiness, and leaves you questioning your own reality. And let me be clear, abuse is never your fault, and it is never acceptable. Emotional abuse can be subtle, creeping into a relationship disguised as concern or love. It's the constant criticism that chips away at your confidence, the manipulative guilt trips, or the silent treatment designed to make you feel unworthy. Physical abuse, on the other hand, leaves visible scars, but the emotional trauma it inflicts cuts even deeper. And verbal abuse, yelling, name-calling, or degrading remarks, is just as damaging, creating wounds that aren't easily seen but are deeply felt. Abusers often use patterns of control, manipulation, and charm to keep their victims trapped. They might apologize, promise to change, or even make you feel responsible for their actions. But here's the truth: their behavior is not a reflection of who you are or what you've done. It's a reflection of their choices and their inability to love in a healthy way. Walking away from an abusive partner is one of the hardest things you'll ever do. They may have made you believe that you can't survive without them, but the reality is this: you are stronger than you know. You deserve a life filled with love, safety, and respect, not fear, pain, or humiliation. If someone crosses the line into abuse, there is no justification, no excuse, and no second chance that can erase the damage they've done. Your life, your peace, and your well-being are worth far more than any relationship. Choose yourself and never look back, because love should never hurt, not physically, not emotionally, not in any way. And to believe that your own happiness matters more than any way. Dishonesty is a silent killer in any relationship. It doesn't always show up as bold-faced lies. Sometimes it's in the little deceptions, the half-truths, or the things left unsaid. But whether it's big or small, dishonesty has a way of creeping into the foundation of a relationship and slowly eroding the trust you've worked so hard to build. When someone lies to you, they're not just hiding the truth. They're disrespecting your ability to make informed decisions. They're taking away your right to know what's real and what isn't. And when lies pile up, they create a gap between you and your partner. A gap filled with doubt, suspicion, and insecurity. Suddenly, you're second-guessing everything. Are they really where they said they'd be? Is that story even true? What else are they hiding? That's no way to live. But dishonesty doesn't just harm the one being lied to. It damages the liar as well. When someone chooses deception, they're prioritizing their convenience, their image, or their desires over the integrity of the relationship. And make no mistake, dishonesty is a choice. Whether it's a small omission or a deliberate falsehood, it reflects a lack of accountability and respect for the bond you share. Some people will tell you, it was just a little lie, it didn't mean anything. But every lie, no matter how small, is a crack in the foundation of your relationship. Over time, those cracks grow, and before you know it, the entire structure collapses under the weight of all the unspoken truths. That's why massive expectations become a massive roadblock to building lasting, healthy relationships. If you find yourself in a relationship with someone who consistently lies, whether it's about where they've been, who they're talking to, or how they feel, you have to ask yourself, can I ever fully trust this person again? Because trust, once broken, is incredibly difficult to rebuild. And without trust, what's left? Remember this: honesty isn't just a virtue, it's a requirement. It's the bedrock of every strong relationship, and without it, love cannot thrive. You deserve someone who values the truth, who respects you enough to be honest, even when it's hard. Accept nothing less. Manipulation and gaslighting are among the most insidious behaviors someone can bring into a relationship. Unlike obvious wrongdoings, they're subtle, calculated, and often hard to recognize until the damage has already been done. These tactics aren't just about controlling you. They're about distorting your reality and making you question your own perceptions, memories, and emotions. Let me be clear, this is not love, it's a dangerous power play. Manipulation comes in many forms. It can look like someone using guilt to get their way, playing the victim to avoid accountability, or exploiting your kindness to serve their own needs. It's when they twist your words, shift blame, or create a narrative that makes them appear right while you're left feeling wrong, confused, or even crazy. It's subtle, but the effects are profound. Over time, you may start to doubt your instincts, feel like you're walking on eggshells, or even believe you're the problem. Gaslighting in particular is a form of manipulation that's especially damaging. It's when someone denies your experiences, downplays your emotions, or tells you that what you know to be true isn't real. For example, they might say, "You're imagining things," or "You're too sensitive," when you call out their behavior. Over time, this can erode your confidence, making you feel disoriented and dependent on their version of reality. These behaviors aren't mistakes or misunderstandings. They're intentional. They're designed to control, dominate, and keep you questioning yourself. And the more you doubt yourself, the easier it becomes for them to maintain power over you. This isn't just toxic, it's abusive. It chips away at your mental and emotional health, leaving you feeling isolated, powerless, and trapped. If you recognize these patterns in your relationship, it's crucial to act. Manipulation and gaslighting are not things that can be fixed with a conversation or a promise to change. They're deep-seated behaviors that require significant self-awareness and effort to overcome. And that's if the person even acknowledges what they're doing. You deserve a partner who builds you up, not one who tears you down. A relationship should feel like a partnership, not a power struggle. If someone is manipulating or gaslighting you, it's a sign that they're not interested in loving you, they're interested in controlling you. And that's not something you should ever tolerate. Choose your peace, protect your mental health, and never settle for anything less than a relationship built on mutual respect and honesty. Infidelity and betrayal cut deeper than most people can put into words. It's not just about the act itself, it's about what it represents. When someone you love and trust betrays your loyalty, it shakes the very foundation of your relationship. It's a violation of the promises you've made to each other, and an affront to the love, effort, and trust you've invested. It's not just painful, it's life-altering. Cheating isn't just about physical acts. It's about emotional dishonesty, secrecy, and the choice to prioritize temporary desires over the relationship. Betrayal doesn't happen by accident. It's a series of deliberate decisions that disregard your feelings, your trust, and your worth. And while people may try to rationalize or excuse their actions, blaming stress, dissatisfaction, or even you, let's be clear, there's no justification for infidelity. It's not a mistake, it's a choice. The aftermath of betrayal is devastating. It leaves you questioning everything. Was anything real? Did they ever love me? What did I do wrong? But here's the truth. Betrayal isn't about your shortcomings. It's about their lack of integrity. It's about their inability to honor commitments and communicate honestly when things got difficult. The responsibility lies with the one who betrayed, not the one who was betrayed. Rebuilding after infidelity is possible for some, but it's not easy and it's not guaranteed. It requires complete transparency, genuine remorse, and an extraordinary effort to rebuild trust. But even then, the scars of betrayal don't simply fade away. The emotional pain, the insecurities, and the lingering doubts can haunt you long after the apology. And sometimes, no matter how much effort is put in, the damage is too great to repair. You deserve a partner who chooses you every day, not just in words, but in actions. Someone who respects the boundaries of your relationship and values the trust you've placed in them. If they've shown you through their betrayal that they can't honor those things, then it's time to ask yourself, can I truly rebuild this? Or am I holding on to something that will only continue to hurt me? Infidelity isn't just about breaking trust, it's about breaking the promise to prioritize each other above all else. If someone has betrayed that promise, they've shown you who they truly are. Believe them. And believe in yourself enough to walk away, knowing that you deserve a love that is loyal, respectful, and unwavering. Accountability is the backbone of any healthy relationship. It's the ability to take responsibility for one's actions, acknowledge mistakes, and genuinely work to make things right. When a partner lacks accountability, it creates a one-sided dynamic where they can act however they please without facing the consequences. Over time, this behavior can breed resentment, frustration, and a sense of imbalance that no relationship can survive. A partner who refuses to take accountability will often shift the blame to others, sometimes to you. They might say things like, "You made me act this way," or "If you hadn't done this, I wouldn't have reacted that way." They deflect rationalize or minimize their actions, making you feel like you're the problem or that your concerns aren't valid. This isn't just dismissive, it's emotionally manipulative. It leaves you carrying the weight of their mistakes while they walk away unscathed. When someone lacks accountability, it's also a sign of emotional immaturity. Instead of reflecting on their behavior and learning from it, they choose denial and avoidance. They miss the opportunity to grow, and they deny you the respect you deserve by refusing to acknowledge how their actions impact you. This isn't a partnership. It's a dynamic where one person prioritizes their comfort over the health of the relationship. Accountability is about more than just saying, "I'm sorry." It's about showing that apology through changed behavior. It's about listening when you express hurt, understanding where they went wrong, and actively working to ensure it doesn't happen again. Without this, apologies become empty words, and the same patterns repeat, leaving you stuck in a cycle of hurt and disappointment. If your partner consistently avoids accountability, it's a red flag you can't ignore. A healthy relationship requires two people who are willing to own their actions, learn from their mistakes, and grow together. If one person is unwilling to take responsibility, the other is left carrying the burden of fixing everything. And that's not fair. You deserve a partner who can say, "I was wrong," without making excuses. Someone who values the relationship enough to reflect, adjust, and do better. Without accountability, love becomes a one-sided effort. And love that requires you to constantly forgive without seeing change is not love at all. It's a drain on your emotional well-being. Choose a partner who stands up for the relationship by standing up to their own mistakes. Anything less isn't worthy of your time, energy, or heart. When someone consistently disregards your boundaries, it's not just an oversight. It's a fundamental lack of respect for you as an individual. Boundaries are the invisible lines we draw to protect our emotional, mental, and physical well-being. They're not about controlling others. They're about honoring ourselves. When a partner repeatedly crosses those lines, it's a clear sign that they don't value your needs, feelings, or autonomy. Disrespecting boundaries can show up in many forms. It might be as blatant as ignoring your no or pressuring you into situations that make you uncomfortable. It could be as subtle as dismissing your feelings or teasing you about something you've already expressed is sensitive to you. Over time, these actions wear you down, leaving you feeling powerless and unheard. It's not just frustrating, it's emotionally exhausting. Healthy relationships thrive on mutual respect for each other's boundaries. Whether it's giving space when needed, respecting privacy, or honoring your emotional limits, a good partner will listen and adjust because they care about your well-being. Disregarding boundaries, on the other hand, shows a sense of entitlement, a belief that their wants outweigh your needs. A belief that their wants outweigh your needs. What makes this behavior even more harmful is that it often leaves you questioning yourself. You start to wonder, am I asking for too much? Or maybe I need to be more flexible. But the truth is, boundaries aren't negotiable. They're not about being rigid or difficult. They're about ensuring you feel safe, respected, and valued in the relationship. So if someone makes you feel guilty for setting boundaries, they're not honoring you. They're trying to manipulate you into putting their needs above your own. When someone refuses to respect your boundaries, it's not just a red flag, it's a warning siren. It's a sign that they prioritize their desires over your comfort and safety. And let's be honest, a relationship where one person's needs consistently overshadow the others isn't a partnership, it's an imbalance. You deserve a partner who listens when you say, "This is important to me," and responds with understanding and care. A partner who views your boundaries not as obstacles, but as opportunities to show respect and love. Because at the end of the day, boundaries aren't about pushing people away. They're about creating space for the right people to stay. And if someone can't honor that, they don't deserve a place in your life. When a partner consistently prioritizes their needs and desires over yours, it creates an imbalance that leaves you feeling invisible, unimportant, and emotionally drained. A relationship is supposed to be a partnership where both people give and receive in a way that feels balanced and fulfilling. But when selfishness dominates, it turns the relationship into a one-sided dynamic where only one person's happiness seems to matter. He is the fifth person. It matters less to the relationship where everything is balanced and fulfilling. Selfishness can manifest in many ways. It might look like always making decisions without consulting you, dismissing your feelings, or expecting you to constantly accommodate their schedule and preferences. It could be their unwillingness to compromise, or their tendency to place their comfort and convenience above your well-being. Over time, this behavior sends a clear message. Their needs are more important than the relationship itself. Being in a relationship with someone who is selfish can be incredibly isolating. You may find yourself sacrificing your time, energy, and even your dreams to keep the peace or make them happy. But the truth is, no amount of giving on your part can fill the void left by their lack of reciprocity. A healthy relationship thrives on mutual effort, where both partners are invested in each other's happiness and growth. Selfishness doesn't just hurt the relationship, it chips away at your sense of self-worth. You start to question whether your needs are valid or if you're asking for too much. But let me tell you this, your needs are not too much. Your feelings are not too much. Wanting a partner who cares about your happiness as much as their own is not too much. It's the bare minimum. If someone consistently prioritizes themselves over you, it's a sign they lack the emotional maturity and empathy necessary for a healthy relationship. Love isn't about taking, it's about giving, supporting, and growing together. A selfish partner can't provide that because their focus will always be on what they can gain, not what they can contribute. You deserve someone who values your happiness as much as their own, who listens, compromises, and shows up for you the way you show up for them. If your partner's selfishness is a constant theme, it's time to ask yourself whether this relationship is nourishing your soul or depleting it. Remember, love should never feel like a one-way street. Choose a relationship where giving and receiving flow naturally, without one person always taking more than they give. Constant criticism in a relationship is like a slow drip of negativity that eventually floods the foundation of love and trust. It might not seem damaging at first, a casual remark here, a helpful suggestion there, but over time, it becomes a pattern that erodes your confidence, self-worth, and sense of security. When criticism becomes a way of life in a relationship, it's not just unhealthy, it's toxic. Criticism isn't the same as constructive feedback or healthy communication. Constructive feedback comes from a place of care and is focused on growth and understanding. Constant criticism, on the other hand, is rooted in judgment and often leaves you feeling inadequate or unworthy. It can sound like, "Why can't you ever get it right?" Or, "You always mess things up." Or even subtle digs disguised as jokes. Every time, these words accumulate and their weight becomes unbearable. Being on the receiving end of constant criticism makes you feel like you're walking on eggshells, constantly trying to meet unrealistic expectations or avoid triggering another wave of negativity. It can make you question your abilities, your value, and even your identity. You may start to wonder, am I really this flawed, or what's wrong with me? But let me tell you, the problem isn't you, it's the behavior that's being directed at you. Critical partner often justifies their behavior by saying they're trying to help or that they're just being honest. But honesty without compassion is cruelty. A loving partner builds you up, helps you grow, and offers support, not constant reminders of what they think is wrong with you. Criticism, especially when relentless, reveals more about their insecurities and lack of emotional maturity than about any flaws they perceive in you. If you find yourself in a relationship where criticism is constant, it's important to address it directly, express how it makes you feel, and set boundaries for what you will and won't tolerate. But know this: if someone is unwilling to acknowledge their behavior and make meaningful changes, you have every right to walk away. Love isn't about enduring constant negativity. It's about being celebrated and cherished for who you are. You deserve a partner who sees your worth, acknowledges your strengths, and communicates with kindness. Someone who lifts you up, not tears you down. Constant criticism is not love. It's a sign of a deeply unhealthy dynamic. Choose a relationship where you are valued, respected, and encouraged, not one where you feel diminished and defeated. I would have more. Jealousy and possessiveness might initially seem like signs of love or deep care, but in reality, they're rooted in insecurity and control, not genuine affection. When these behaviors dominate a relationship, they don't just create tension, they stifle freedom, trust, and individuality. What starts as small moments of suspicion can quickly grow into an environment of control, leaving you feeling trapped rather than loved. Jealousy often disguises itself as concern. It might sound like, "I just don't like you spending time with them," or "Why do you need to go out when you have me?" But underneath these statements is a lack of trust. Trust in you, trust in the relationship, and often trust in themselves. It's not about protecting the relationship, it's about controlling it. And when jealousy becomes a constant presence, it creates an atmosphere of suspicion that makes it impossible for trust to flourish. Possessiveness takes it a step further. It's when your partner starts to dictate your choices, who you can see, where you can go, what you can wear. They may frame it as wanting to protect you, but make no mistake, it's about control, not care. Possessiveness limits your autonomy and creates an unhealthy dynamic where their insecurities dictate your actions. Over time, this can lead to isolation as you pull away from friends, family, and activities to avoid conflict. These behaviors are not about love, they're about power. A healthy relationship is built on mutual trust where both partners feel secure enough to give each other freedom and space. Jealousy and possessiveness, on the other hand, are symptoms of insecurity and fear. Fear of losing control, fear of abandonment, and fear of vulnerability. While these emotions are human, they're not excuses for controlling someone else. It's essential to recognize the difference between healthy concern and toxic control. A partner who truly loves you will express their feelings openly and respectfully without resorting to manipulation or ultimatums. They will trust you enough to let you live your life while building a relationship that's strong enough to withstand external pressures. If you find yourself in a relationship where jealousy and possessiveness are constant, it's crucial to address these behaviors. Set boundaries, communicate your feelings, and make it clear that control is not a substitute for love. But if these patterns persist, it may be time to step away. You deserve a relationship where trust, respect, and freedom are the cornerstones, not one where fear and control dictate your life. Love is not about ownership or surveillance. It's about partnership and growth. If someone tries to hold you back or keep you under their control, they're not loving you. They're limiting you. Choose a love that sets you free, not one that ties you down. Lack of communication is one of the most destructive forces in any relationship. It's not just about the words that go unsaid. It's about the emotional distance that grows when partners stop sharing, listening, and engaging with each other. Communication is the bridge that connects two people. And when that bridge weakens or collapses, the relationship suffers in profound ways. Healthy communication is more than just talking. It's about truly understanding each other. It involves sharing your thoughts, feelings, and experiences openly while creating a safe space for your partner to do the same. It's about listening, not just to respond, but to understand. When this exchange is missing, misunderstandings arise, conflicts go unresolved, and intimacy fades. A partner who refuses to communicate effectively can leave you feeling frustrated, confused, and alone. Whether it's shutting down during disagreements, avoiding difficult conversations, or simply not making an effort to connect, a lack of communication signals a lack of investment in the relationship. Over time, it creates a barrier between you, making it harder to address issues, share joy, or build a deeper connection. When communication breaks down, small problems can become massive obstacles. Without open dialogue, misunderstandings fester, assumptions replace facts, and unresolved issues create resentment. It's not just about avoiding conflict. It's about avoiding the very essence of what makes a relationship thrive: connection and understanding. A lack of communication can also leave you feeling like you're the only one trying. If you're constantly initiating conversations, asking questions, or seeking clarity while your partner remains distant or dismissive, it creates an imbalance. Relationships are partnerships, and communication should be a two-way street where both people feel heard, valued, and understood. Does anybody get obsessed with the phrase "full walls"? Yes. It's important to recognize that effective communication takes effort from both sides. It's not always easy, but it's necessary for growth, resolution, and intimacy. If your partner consistently refuses to engage or dismisses your attempts to communicate, it's a sign that they may not value the relationship as much as you do. You can't build a strong connection with someone who isn't willing to meet you halfway. You deserve a partner who is willing to have the tough conversations, who listens with empathy, and who values your thoughts and feelings. Communication isn't just a skill, it's a commitment. Without it, love becomes a guessing game, and relationships crumble under the weight of unspoken words and unresolved issues. Choose a relationship where communication flows naturally and openly. Anything less will leave you feeling unheard, unseen, and emotionally disconnected. You deserve better.